Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a story that will make you question everything you think you know about memory, grief, and the places we call home. This is the chilling tale of Elias Murrah and the house that held him captive. Our story begins on a rain-swept night. A man, Elias, pulls up to a dark, imposing house, swallowed by fog and ivy. This isn't just any house. It's his childhood home, a place he fled years ago. He's returned for one reason, to find out what happened to his mother, Helena, who vanished without a trace when he was just 12 years old. He's here to make a documentary, to find answers, to finally put the past to rest. But this house has other plans. The air inside is heavy, suffocating. Dust motes dance in the beam of his flashlight, illuminating old family portraits. His mother's smile in the photos feels like a ghost from another life. Elias pulls out a voice recorder, his hand trembling slightly. Field diary, day 1. He begins, his voice strained. Murrah house log. Mother disappeared in 2005. No body found. Returning to seek answers. The wound is still fresh, even after all these years. He remembers her last days, her claims of hearing voices in the walls. No one believed her. He didn't believe her. And then, she was gone. What brought him back after all this time? An impossible, anonymous phone call a few months prior. A distorted female voice whispering, "Elias, I'm still here." Was it a cruel prank? Or was it something more? He had to know. Waiting for him inside is Dona Ilda, the old caretaker, a woman who seems to know the house's secrets. She warns him, "The walls remind me, boy, and what they remind me of sometimes comes back." Elias scoffs, trying to maintain his professional distance. He is a documentarian, not a ghost hunter. "Then record everything," she advises, a knowing look in her eyes. "Even what you don't want to hear." As night descends, Elias transforms the house into a surveillance grid. Cameras in every room, microphones in every hallway. He is determined to capture objective proof, to solve this mystery with technology and logic. Then, as the clock strikes midnight, it begins. A faint whisper, seeming to curl out of the very air around him. It's a single word, drawn out and chillingly familiar. Elias, he freezes, his heart pounding. He checks his equipment. It's there. The sound is real. He follows the disembodied voice to his mother's old bedroom. He places a hand on the wall, and an unnatural cold seeps into his bones. The wall seems to almost breathe. The next morning brings the first true sign that something is terribly wrong. One of his microphones has captured sounds from the night, footsteps, faint breathing, and a child's laughter. He recognizes it instantly. It's his own laugh, from a lifetime ago. A wave of pure terror washes over him. He has to get out. He runs for the gate, but it's locked shut. The fog has rolled in, thick and impenetrable, isolating the property from the rest of the world. The terrifying realization dawns on him. The house won't let him leave. He is a prisoner. Just as despair begins to set in, a new face appears through the mist. A young historian named Anna, who claims she heard about his documentary and wants to help. Together with Dona Ilda, they form an unlikely team, delving into the history of the property. What they uncover is horrifying. The house was built on the scorched ruins of a psychiatric hospital that burned down in 1942. And among the records of the deceased, they find a name that makes Elias's blood run cold. His maternal grandmother. 3 generations of his family, inextricably linked to this cursed ground. Driven by this new information, Elias searches the house with renewed fervor and makes a breakthrough. He discovers a false wall in his mother's room. Behind it lies a hidden, secret chamber, and inside, a box of old cassette tapes. He plays one. It's his mother's voice, frail and desperate. "They speak to me," she says. "The house holds what we forget, and what we forget never dies." Tears stream down Elias's face. This is it, the proof. His mother wasn't haunted. She was unwell, trapped in her own mind. He believes he has found his truth, a painful closure. In a fit of grief and release, He decides to end it all, to burn the house and its painful memories to the ground. But just as he is about to light the fire, the whispers that have tormented him erupt into screams. Elias, no, it's not what you think. Before he can process the warning, the floor beneath him cracks and splinters, plunging him into the darkness of the basement below. He wakes up injured, disoriented. His flashlight flickers, its weak beam cutting through the oppressive dark. And then he sees her, a silhouette in the corner. His mother. She's older, pale, ethereal. But it's her. You heard me, son, she whispers, her voice filled with a profound sadness. You finally heard me. Weeping, he stumbles towards her. This is the moment he's dreamed of, the reunion he's craved his entire life. But as he reaches out to touch her face, she dissolves into a cloud of dust, scattering into nothingness. The walls of the basement seem to contract around him, and the whispers become a deafening cacophony of voices. He's overwhelmed, and the world fades to black. In that darkness, the final, transformative revelation comes to him. He sees the past, but not as he remembered it. He sees his mother, alone, desperately clawing at the wall of her room. She wasn't talking to ghosts. She was talking to him, the child version of himself, trapped on the other side, paralyzed by his own fear. The whispers he'd heard his whole life, the voice that called to him from the walls, it was never his mother's. It was his own childhood terror, echoing through the house, through time, through his own memory. The house never breathed. It was he who had never stopped holding his breath. Elias is dragged from the collapsing structure by Anna, just as the house finally gives in, crumbling into a heap of ruin. Standing before the wreckage, Anna urges him to release the documentary. People need to know she wasn't crazy, she pleads. But Elias, his eyes clear for the first time, understands. Some truths are not meant for the world. No, he says softly. People need to forget. Some voices don't want to be heard. And one by one, he takes the tapes his mother's. His own hand breaks them. The sound of shattering plastic mingles with the wind, like whispers finally being silenced. As a new dawn breaks, Elias Murrah walks away, leaving the camera, the recordings, and the ghosts of his past behind, finally free. What a powerful and thought-provoking story. It reminds us that sometimes the most terrifying hauntings are the ones we carry inside ourselves. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next story. See you next time.